Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Third Wave Trades. Today's video we're going to be going over Oklo, ticker symbol OKLO. This stock has been on a major rip for the past few months after consolidating for a little bit. Last week we ended up getting a breakout and the stock ended up running all the way up to roughly around $42, $43. It's something that we talked about in the Discord. We were calling it out live, and I'm going to show you guys in today's video. I'm going to show you, instead of me just going through the chart by itself, I'll show you kind of how we called it out play by play in the Discord. So this way, if you guys are interested in what we have going on over there, you guys can see, get a first-hand experience of what it's like. And if you guys are interested in joining, it's wap.com/thirdwavetrades. The link is down in the description below, right? So besides stock analysis like this, you'll also get daily live trade alerts from my partner Sean on all your favorite stocks and ticker symbols. And we hope you guys join. If it's not for you, you guys can cancel anytime within the trial period. You guys won't be charged. Just come take a look, see if it's for you, and let's make some money. All right, so now let's go over Oklo. And again, I want to show it to you guys from my Discord, right? So how we called it out. So here you guys can see January 6th is when I first mentioned it. And shout out to Nitro Trader. He was the one who told me to take a look at it. And this is kind of like what we do, right? I'll tell anybody that, let me know what stocks you guys think you guys are interested in it. I'll do my own analysis on it, and I'll let you guys know if I think it is a buy or not, right? If it's something to go long into. So he brought up OKLO. It wasn't really on my radar. I was looking at some other stuff, but once I saw it, it hit all my checkpoints in terms of stage analysis, accumulation schematic, and Elliott wave. So it was immediately at that point on my radar. So again, big shout out to Nitro Trader for bringing this one up. Now, the first thing I looked at was on a weekly time frame. From a stage analysis perspective, we were in this stage one base back in like September, October of last year, and we ended up getting this strong breakout. You guys can see we got it with strong volume, and we got that break above the Mansfield Relative Strength Index, above that zero line, right? So that told me, okay, now we are in this stage 2 uptrend move. Now what happens is that once you get that breakout, usually you'll come back and retest or back test that 30-week moving average, and then from there you can go higher, right? If you come back and break above those highs. So that's essentially what we had. So at this point, I was already calling it out to keep it on your guys' radar, but I was also saying the stock is still heavily shorted. It's a low cap stock. So in the short term, it can be very volatile. If you guys want to just buy and hold shares, that's perfectly fine. But just be careful on, if you're trying to do like weekly call options or something like that, be very careful because again, it's heavily shorted. So don't get in prematurely, right? And again, this is kind of the stage analysis, right? So this is where we were. We got that breakout after this basing in stage 1. We got the breakout and then the back test, and then we were pushing higher, right? From an Elliott wave perspective, then I mentioned that, all right, here's my count so far. We had this first wave up, this second wave down, right, after this sort of like flat correction around that 50% retracement level, and we were now in this third wave move, right? So there's another check off right there. We got stage 2 breakout and very likely a third wave move. And then potential targets, if that is the case, would be anywhere from the 1.618 extension to the 2.618 extension, which is roughly $53 to $75. Again, it could get more extended than that, but from a conservative standpoint, those are my price targets. And then I kind of show them on a smaller time frame what it looks like from a Wyckoff accumulation or reaccumulation schematic. Now again, this was January 6th, so what I was hoping for once we came above this channel was a sort of consolidation roughly around that 30 to anywhere 30 to like $26 range. We ended up in the subsequent weeks coming back into the channel a little bit more, which kind of gave me a little bit of pause, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But essentially what I was hoping for was a consolidation above the top of the channel before we break out in that phase E move. But again, I mentioned that the short interest for OKLO was very high. So you gotta keep that in mind, right? Short sellers are not just gonna let this thing fly without a fight, right? So that was January 7th. And now January 21st, almost 2 weeks later, that's when it comes back on the radar, right? Because then after I brought it up, what happens? We come all the way back into this channel, and usually that's a bad sign, right? Because then what that could mean is that instead of this being a spring down here, right? Um, what we have is an up thrust move, and if we got to the bottom of this channel, it's very likely that this was your UTAD, and we're gonna go back lower. It's not a reaccumulation, but a distribution. But we ended up actually holding support, and you guys can see we held it right at the VPOC, right, the volume point of control. That ended up becoming our last point of support. We came back above to the top of the channel again, and at this point I was very confident that, hey, look, if we get this break above $32 now, and again with strong volume, we should go long, right? And that's like on a daily time frame, or if you want to be more conservative, on a weekly time frame. But I was saying on the daily, I want to see that strong break above 32 with strong volume, and I will be taking a swing long right here. So, right, price may consolidate a bit before we get the break. Elliott wave targets for third wave move can be $53 to $75. So that was on January 21st. Later, after hours, I updated the community and told them we got the break over 32. If price holds tomorrow morning, we'll look for a swing long position. So the next day, it ended up holding. We ended up pushing higher to like 36, came back down to like around 32 after hours in the pre-market. And I told everybody, look, I think it's a good swing play for the next 3 to 6 months. Safest way to do it is to buy shares. You guys can buy leaps. Ultimately, how you play it should depend on your account size and your risk tolerance, right? But I myself played a mix of calls and shares, right? So yeah, I told him be careful you could do shorter swings, and you could do you could try to day trade it, but be careful because it could be volatile because of again how heavily shorted it is. That was on January 22nd. On January 23rd, we saw that OKLO, I said it was squeezing. Everybody was happy about it, whoever got in. Then I kind of gave them my interpretation of the wave count as I saw it playing out. And I'm going to show you guys a more live wave count right now. But this is essentially it, right? So you had that first, second, third, fourth, fifth. For our first wave back in November, had this ABC flat correction, right? Which is kind of like where we were accumulating. And now we should be in this third wave move going higher. Now, if we fall short of that 53 mark, in my opinion, what we're really in is in a 1-2-1-2 setup, which would just give us a more extended third wave, a much bigger play to set up for. So either way, I do think that the stock in the long term, like a year from now, is going to be a lot higher than it is right now. So I think it's still a good time to buy. You guys can see over here we had one member who joined. He was playing it. He was holding. He was still holding it. It almost hit 39. He was happy about that, and I'm not sure if he took all of his profit or not, but he was up pretty decent, on some nice $36 strike calls. Made about $2,600, so off of that call out. So he was happy about that. Just a more detailed analysis on a smaller time frame. This ended up not being a triangle, but ended up being more of like a flat correction. But I kind of just want anybody who's in the trade to feel comfortable about what they think is happening, what I think is happening. But yeah, so my interpretation is basically, look, we're still strong. This is the end of day Friday now, January 24th. That we're still strong, consolidating and basing for another breakout. And if you got in at $32 a share, like when we called it out, then you should be up $10 a share. If you got contracts, you got calls, even better. So that's kind of how we call this play out, and we've been keeping an eye on it. Now, this is not the only stock that we do this for, right? You name the stock, like Tesla, same thing. I'm talking about it, what I think is playing out, and why I think that maybe Tesla is going to go on a major run as well. um, right? Same sort of thing, and I do this on a bunch of different stocks. Besides that, we give daily key levels for for day traders, stops, targets, and key levels for breakouts and things like that. So that's kind of it. I'll go over the OKLO again. Here we are. Right, this is kind of how I see it playing out right now. Right, so again, we had our first wave, we had this A, B, C correction, and now I think we're kind of like in our third wave. We're getting ready for this 1 2 1 2, this big push higher to that $50 $60 area. Now it could come in the next couple of weeks. You guys can see the volume. This is on a daily chart. Volume is picking up. Um, it looks really good to me. Again, if we end up coming short and just doing like a um, you know instead of getting to that 1.618, um, we get to like around $46 to $49, right? Then we're probably in another 1 2 1 2 setup, right? On a larger, right? So this would be one. This would be 1 2, and we get like a 1 2 staying within this channel, and then we get the massive move, right? But from a stage analysis perspective, on the weekly, we would still be above that 30-week moving average. Um, and essentially, what I think is playing out, right, is that it's a sort of like buy the dip situation at this point, right? Because we are in that confluence zone of a third wave of a stage 2 breakout and a phase E uptrend, right? So in that case, again, if you're holding shares, in my opinion, it's just anytime there's a dip, buy it. Obviously, play accordingly to your risk tolerance, and have your stop losses in play. But I do think all these dips will be bought up on a stock like this, right? And that's not even going over the fundamentals of what OKLO really does and how they're going to be a big player in like the AI, um, you know, infrastructure thing that Trump was talking about last week. But I'll leave all that to people who are better qualified to speak on that. I'm a technical analyst, and based off of the technicals, from what I see, I think OKLO is going to be a big play. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, again, make sure you guys are playing with proper risk management, and you guys should be fine. But so far, um, we've been pretty much on the money with this, and I'm gonna keep holding for now, my calls and my shares, and I'll keep updating my community. Right, I'll give you guys updates too as much as I can, but right now that is sort of taking priority. So if you guys want more updates on this stock or any other stock um, analysis, come join our community, guys. You guys will make money. I can almost guarantee it, right? Whether you guys are day traders, you guys can get our live day trade alerts from like my partner Sean. Um, and actually, let me show you guys that really quick before I end the video. So the live day trade alerts, like he actually made a killing on ARM a couple of days ago. You guys can see his call out over here. He bought $170 calls. He got them for 2 weeks out, right, for next week's expiry. But that's just how he likes to play. He bought them for $415 a contract. And then he started scaling out, right? It was a great entry. So he sold within like 2 minutes, right? So within a minute he was already up $200. Took profit on 1/4 of his position. Took another 1/4 profit at 635. 1/8 at 725. 1/8 on 820. Another 1/8 at 951. Another 1/16 at 1145. Right, so from 415 to 1145, that's about $700 a contract, right? So if you guys are day traders, come join. You will get these daily day trade alerts from my partner Sean. Some of them from myself, but mostly I let him handle that. I do my analysis on the larger time frames, right? I'm more of a swing trader, so I give those swing trade alerts. If you're a swing trader, you guys can do really well as well. So that's really it, guys. I think Oklo is gonna go higher, but we will have to wait and see. If you guys want, come join us. Do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will be back with more. Peace.